Good morning, dear students. Let's learn the lesson present tense. Let's continue it. Already we have learned the first part in the previous class. Today we will continue the class. We already have learned simple present and present continuous tense. Now we are going to learn present perfect tense. How to form present perfect tense? Okay, this is a form subject plus have or has plus V3 form or past participle form of the verb. We know what is verb 3 form. For example, eat, ate, eaten. The third one, eaten, will be used in present perfect tense. Examples are given here. They have been to New York. Okay, been, that is the past perfect form of what is or are. Okay, she has eaten frog's legs. Eaten, B3 form. You haven't studied a lot. Studied. Okay, see the usage of have forms here. Have forms are must for perfect tenses, and with the third person singular we use has, and with all other persons we use have in present perfect tense. In order to form affirmative or positive sentences, this is the way subject plus have or has plus V3 form. Okay, that is, I have seen the film before. She has seen the film before. And interrogative sentences, have you seen the film before? That means in order to make interrogative, first you have to use the auxiliary, that's have at the beginning. Okay, and with third person singular, she, he, it, we use has. So when you frame the questions, you have to take have or has to the front. Negative sentences, they haven't, he hasn't. Given here are some of the V3 forms of verbs. Three forms are given here: see, so, seen. So in perfect tenses we use the third form, that is seen, bought, gone, eaten, come, swum, etc. Look at the slide. The contracted or short forms of this have is given here. If it is I, I've, you, you have, she has, she's, it's, we have, they have, seen a ghost. Okay, see, in order to make it in a contracted form, the final VE or has, for has we take S. There is an interrogative form given here. Example, you have traveled to Japan twice. That is affirmative. When you make it into a question, take have to the beginning, or you start with the auxiliary have. Have you traveled to Japan twice? In order to make negative sentences, we use not or int as short form. I have visited the Taj Mahal. That is affirmative. I haven't visited the Taj Mahal. I have not visited the Taj Mahal. I haven't seen you for weeks. He hasn't arrived home. See, the short form or the contracted form int or not will be used in order to form negative sentences in present perfect tense. Mainly, since we have already learned present perfect tense in our previous classes, this class actually we want to study the usage. In order to say a recent event, we use present perfect tense. Okay, and this event will be told without referring a definite time. For example, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we don't use in such a way, and without referring to the exact time we use present perfect tense. The idea of time or place in the speaker's mind makes the event recent. A time expression may emphasize recentness. For example, just, recently, lately, etc. can be used with the present perfect tense. Example is given here. Why are they so happy? They have just won a prize, so they are really pleased. See, since it is happened, it is referring to a recent event. They got a prize. In order to mention that, we have used present perfect tense. We use the adverb just in order to form perfect tense. I have just finished my exercise. He has just had lunch. Okay, it is all this talk about a recent event, just finished. Okay, in order to mention that, we use present perfect tense. The second usage is to say about a personal experience. It is used to express personal experience. There is not a definite time given. And the time expressions ever and never are very often used with this meaning. Okay, see this example. I have never been to Japan. This is my personal experience. Have you ever been there? Okay, it's talking about one's personal experience. In order to refer that, we are able to use the adverbs like ever and never. Present perfect tense is also used to express actions that started in the past and continue to the present. The time period is not finished. Okay, and when we refer that, we can use for or since along with this sentences. I haven't eaten since yesterday. Okay, and in perfect tenses we use for and since, and already it's started, the event started in the past, still it continues. In such sentences we use present perfect tense. I haven't eaten since yesterday morning means now also I haven't eaten. I haven't drunk anything for 2 days means now also I haven't drunk. We use this tense to indicate an action that happened in the past, but we don't know exactly when. Okay, see this example. He has bought a car. We don't know the time, and the time is not given. If the time is given, we will be using other tenses, but if it is mentioned without mentioning the time, we will use present perfect tense. They have been to Europe. It's not clear when. We have seen that present perfect tense can be used for an action that started in the past and still it continues. For example, I lived in Limeria for 3 years means now also I live there. She has studied English since January. Since January it continued. We also use the present perfect tense to talk about a past action that has a result in the present. For example, I have lost my wallet. That means I don't have it now. It has its result even at the present. Jimmy has gone to South America. That means now also he is there, he is not here. Have you finished your homework? Means it's already finished, or that means still not finished. I told you with perfect tense we use just, already, and yet. See these examples. We have already had our breakfast. Okay, I have already done it. Okay, see this conversation. Almost like that there is one exercise that is there to be done. Also, has a past arrived yet? Post arrived yet? Have you done your homework? Not yet. Haven't you got ready yet? Okay, so yet, already, and just will be used with present perfect tense. Also, we hold that with perfect tense we use for or since. An example is given here. I have had this computer for about a year. How long have you been at this school? I haven't seen Julia since September. And when you use since, there will be a definite time. For it, there will not be a definite time. For example, since September, month September is given there. And for, and it will be a certain period of time. It may not be exactly the time, it will be a period of time. The next tense is present perfect continuous tense. You know, already you have learned present continuous tense. For what we use it? For an action that continues for a certain period. Here we use it for a longer period compared to the continuous tense. So in present perfect continuous there are the elements of present continuous as well as present perfect tense. Present perfect tense now only we have learned. So both the elements are there in present perfect continuous tense. The structure is subject plus has or have, that is auxiliary verb plus been, and main verb and ing form. Okay, ing form is common for all the continuous tense and have forms is common to perfect form. What is more added? Been is added there. So you can compare and study, that is easy for you. Continuous, present perfect continuous, so continuous tense ing form is there, plus perfect tense have or has, plus been, that is the addition that is given here in the structure. See these sentences. I have been waiting for an hour. You have been talking too much. We have not been playing football. We have not, it has not been raining. Have you been seeing her? Has it been raining? Have you been cycling? So there is question. Question similarly will convert. That means whatever we used in perfect tense, in the similar way, perfect form, that is have, will be used in the beginning, then subject, and then been and ing form of the verb. In such a way, will frame questions. Negative sentences have or has, along with it not or int will be used. Okay, how do we use the present perfect continuous tense? The usage. So automatically there is a connection with the present as well as now. This tense is called present perfect continuous. There is usually a connection with the present and now. There are basically two uses for the present perfect continuous. It's used to mention an action that is just stopped or recently stopped. Okay, and we use the present perfect continuous tense to talk about an action that started in the past and stopped recently. There is usually a result now. I'm tired, that is a result because I have been running. Okay, have been running for a long period. So I'm tired. Why is the grass wet? Has it been raining? That is used in perfect continuous. Has it been raining means it rained for some period of time in the past. Okay, you don't understand because you haven't been listening. Okay, see the usage. Okay, also it's used for an action continuing up to now. See the example. I started reading 2 hours ago and I'm still reading. For that I'll be using I have been reading for 2 hours. Okay, that means still I'm reading. It means still I'm reading. For continuous reading for 2 hours. In order to mention a longer period of action which continued up to the present moment or continuing up to the present moment, we use present perfect continuous tense. See more examples. I have been reading for 2 hours means still I'm reading. I have been studying since 9 o'clock means now it's 12, still study. How long have you been learning English means are you learning it still? She has been waiting for an hour means still she is waiting. Okay, so the action that has started in the past and still if it continues, we use present perfect continuous tense. I told you that with perfect tense we use for and since. So we use with present perfect continuous tense also. Okay, we often use for and since with present perfect continuous. We use for to talk about a period of time means 5 minutes, 2 weeks, 6 years, 4 months, etc. And since is used for a particular point of time. For example, 9 o'clock, 1st January, Monday, etc. When you see this slide, it will be clear for you where to use for and where to use since. Okay, 20 minutes before that we use for 20 minutes, for 3 days, for 6 months, for 4 years, for 2 centuries, for a long time, forever, etc. For using since 6:15 p.m., since Monday, since January, since 1994, since 1800, Okay, see, that means when you specify the time you use since, and if it is not specified uh, or telling it as a duration, you use for. Here are some examples which tells you about using for and since. Have been studying for 3 hours. Have been watching TV for since 7 p.m. See the difference? 3 hours, it doesn't mean from when. Okay, so 7 p.m. is exact time. Tara hasn't been feeling well for 2 weeks. Tara hasn't been visiting us since March. She has been playing football for a long time. He has been living in Bangkok since he left the school. See the usage. Okay, make it sure that since is used for a before a period of point of time, whereas for is used before a period of time. Okay, this we wind up the class. Please complete the exercise and submit it today.